Sustainability isn't just a buzzword, it's one of the biggest challenges affecting the world today, and it's something that will affect us all. But what exactly does sustainability mean? There are lots of different definitions and concepts, but the idea of sustainable development first came about in a report by the World Commission on Environment and Development in 1987, and it refers to development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. So essentially this means resource efficiency, of our food, water, raw materials and energy, so that global economic growth can continue in the future without depleting our natural resources or the environment. Sustainability will only grow in importance in the coming years and decades, and this is essentially because of global demand outstripping global supply, and this is being mainly driven by emerging and developing economies. So the global population is growing and will reach 8.2 billion people by 2030, and this is mainly being driven by the young and growing populations of developing economies. We know that the global economy is also growing, albeit uncertain and shaky at the moment, but emerging markets are still driving the global economic recovery forwards. And finally, we're also seeing the corresponding trend of the global explosion of the middle class, and again this is being driven by the growing income levels in emerging markets in particular. So Euromonitor International forecasts that there'll be 860 million households in Asia Pacific with a household disposable income of over $10,000 in purchasing power parity terms. And this really highlights the need to move towards sustainable consumption. So sustainability is a huge challenge, but there are also lots of business opportunities that businesses can take advantage of. So consumers are generally becoming much more ethical in their consumption habits. They're more interested in things like green thrift, value and authenticity, and businesses can really try and tap into this growing consumer consciousness to try and engage and collaborate directly with consumers. So they can try to look towards more recycling initiatives, conservation, urban planning, as well as resource and energy efficiency, and also looking to renewable power. But the key is really to try and act early and embrace sustainability as a concept to really stand out for their green credentials in the future. And it's also important to remember that consumers will continue to have value for money at the forefront of their minds. And sustainability doesn't necessarily mean rising costs, because certain sustainability measures such as resource efficiency, improving energy efficiency and also recycling, many of these measures can actually help to reduce business costs. So the key is to remember that consumers want value for money, and they also want businesses to be open, transparent and honest about their green credentials.